Urgent, Lakers have already started talks with Bucks player Brook Lopez. Stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important news about the Lakers. Following their early elimination in the 2025 NBA playoffs, the Los Angeles Lakers were left facing some hard truths. One of the most glaring issues that emerged during their postseason failure was the lack of a solid, reliable presence at the center position. Without a consistent rim protector or interior enforcer, the team struggled to maintain a defensive identity, particularly in critical moments. Their previous attempt to acquire Mark Williams before the trade deadline fell through, and now the front office was once again tasked with addressing a weakness that had become impossible to ignore. Sources close to the situation, including longtime NBA reporter Jerry Wolfel and Sports Illustrated, revealed that the Lakers have initiated early discussions with Brook Lopez, the seasoned center currently under contract with the Milwaukee Bucks. Lopez, who spent the 2017-18 season with the Lakers, is 37 years old but still playing at a highly productive level. Known across the league for his elite shot-blocking instincts and ability to space the floor with three-point shooting, Lopez posted averages of 13 points, 5 rebounds, and nearly 2 blocks per game during the past regular season. Despite his age, he remains one of the most effective rim protectors in the NBA. The potential reunion is more than just a nostalgic move. It reflects the Lakers' intent to build a smarter, more balanced roster around their two superstars, LeBron James and Luka Doncic. With LeBron nearing the end of his storied career and Doncic entering the peak of his prime, the Lakers are under pressure to capitalize on the unique window of opportunity they currently have. In that context, a player like Brook Lopez becomes especially valuable. He offers defensive stability without requiring a high usage rate on offense. His presence in the paint could help reduce the defensive workload on LeBron and Donic, allowing them to focus more on orchestrating the offense and taking over games when needed. Although Lopez is in the twilight of his career, his value is far from diminished. Veteran players with championship experience and a strong understanding of team roles are difficult to come by, and Lopez checks both boxes. His 2021 NBA title run with the Bucks showcased his ability to anchor a defense while also hitting clutch shots from beyond the arc. More importantly, he understands how to play winning basketball without needing the spotlight, a trait that aligns perfectly with what the Lakers are looking for. Financially, bringing Lopez back to Los Angeles won't be easy. The Lakers are navigating a tight salary cap situation and may need to explore creative options, such as sign-and-trade deals or mid-level exceptions. However, the front office does have some assets they could potentially leverage, including future first-round picks and expiring contracts. The key for the Lakers will be balancing financial prudence with the urgency to compete at the highest level now. Brook Lopez represents a potential solution that's both feasible and strategically sound. Having previously played for the franchise, Lopez is already familiar with the Los Angeles environment. While his first stint came during a period when the team was in transition, his professionalism and versatility left a positive impression. Now he would return to a very different situation, a veteran-laden roster with championship expectations and a leadership group centered on LeBron and Donic. The hope is that his experience, composure, and defensive mindset could provide the missing piece to solidify the team's frontcourt. As off-season discussions continue, the possibility of Lopez rejoining the Lakers is gaining momentum. While other contenders may also express interest, Los Angeles offers him a compelling opportunity, the chance to chase another title while contributing to a roster that values his unique skill set. The front office, led by Rob Pelinka, has made it clear that improving rim protection is their top priority. Lopez may not be the flashiest acquisition, but he could prove to be one of the most impactful moves of the summer. This chapter marks the beginning of what could become a defining moment in the Lakers' pursuit of their next championship. The groundwork has been laid. Now it's a matter of whether both sides can come together and make it happen. As the Lakers begin reshaping their roster after another underwhelming playoff exit, their front office finds itself pressed for quick, effective solutions that don't break the bank or disrupt the fragile balance between experience and youth. In this context, the name Brook Lopez isn't just convenient, it's strategically compelling. His skill set is tailor-made for a team that's trying to compete immediately while navigating a complex salary cap and preparing for the future with Luka Doncic at the center of their long-term plans. Brook Lopez isn't just any veteran big man. He represents a rare archetype, a defensive anchor who can also shoot threes at a reliable clip. In a league increasingly driven by floor spacing and perimeter versatility, Lopez provides both. For the Lakers, whose struggles protecting the paint and closing out on shooters have been persistent issues, Lopez is the kind of player who can help bridge that gap. His ability to defend the rim with elite timing and positioning is well documented, and his reputation as one of the NBA's most disciplined shot blockers remains intact. But what makes him even more attractive is how seamlessly he fits into a modern offensive system. Head coach J.J. Redick is known for his analytical approach and a forward-thinking offensive style. He's likely to design schemes that revolve around Doncic's playmaking and LeBron's versatility, which demand shooters who can stretch the defense and open up driving lanes. Brook Lopez's long-range shooting, particularly from the corners and top of the key, forces defenders to stay honest. That alone could change the geometry of the Lakers' offense and create more efficient looks for their stars. There's also the chemistry factor. While Lopez only spent a single season with the Lakers, he's known across the league as a high-character teammate with a low-maintenance personality. He doesn't demand touches or minutes beyond what he earns, which makes him ideal for a roster already featuring two ball-dominant stars. Moreover, his experience with the Milwaukee Bucks has shaped him into a leader on the floor and in the locker room. Someone who communicates well on defense, accepts coaching, and brings a professional mindset to preparation. That said, the Lakers will have to be realistic. Lopez is 37, and while he's stayed relatively healthy over the past few seasons, age always comes with risk. Load management will be necessary, and his minutes will likely need to be monitored throughout the regular season. The Lakers, with a training staff well-versed in managing veteran players, are equipped for this. They've done it with LeBron for years and can extend the same courtesy to Lopez, ensuring that he's fresh and effective when it matters most, in the postseason. One of the most understated elements in this possible acquisition is the signal it sends to the league. Bringing in a seasoned, championship-level center would demonstrate that the Lakers are serious about competing now. It would also serve as a subtle message to Luka Doncic. The franchise is committed to surrounding him with the kind of support he needs to win. That's an important gesture for a player expected to be the long-term face of the franchise after LeBron eventually retires. For Lopez, returning to Los Angeles would be more than just a reunion. It would be a full-circle moment in his career, coming back to a franchise where he once played during a rebuilding phase, now as a respected veteran capable of contributing to a championship run. While the Lakers' previous iteration couldn't offer him much in terms of competitiveness, this version is built to win, and Lopez's contributions could help push them over the edge in tightly contested playoff series. Even with limited cap space, the Lakers are exploring multiple paths to making this deal possible. A sign-and-trade remains one of the most viable options, especially if Lopez is willing to work with both franchises to facilitate his move. Another route would be using a portion of their mid-level exception if they can clear room elsewhere on the roster. Either way, the front office, led by Rob Pelinka, is treating this move not as a gamble but as a calculated investment. In the shifting landscape of the Western Conference, where teams like Denver, Phoenix, and Golden State still pose serious threats, having a center like Lopez could be the defensive anchor the Lakers desperately need. His presence would allow Anthony Davis to spend more time at power forward if needed, adding yet another layer of flexibility to the Lakers' frontcourt rotation. Ultimately, the pursuit of Brook Lopez isn't just about numbers or name recognition. It's about balance, experience, and making the most of a championship window that won't stay open forever. The Lakers have begun that pursuit, and if the pieces fall into place, Lopez may soon wear purple and gold once again, this time as a cornerstone of a title contender. As the Lakers pursue Brook Lopez to bolster their frontcourt, one major challenge continues to loom over their off-season plans: financial flexibility. With LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Luka Doncic commanding max-level contracts or close to it, the Lakers are operating with minimal cap space and restricted mobility under the league's collective bargaining agreement. Yet, the front office, spearheaded by Rob Pelinka, is known for navigating tight salary cap situations with creativity and risk management. Securing Lopez won't be easy, but it's far from impossible. Lopez, at this stage of his career, may not demand a premium deal, but he's still expected to attract offers from contenders that can offer a role, a shot at the title, and financial security. The Lakers' challenge is to present a package that is both competitive and compliant with the league's financial rules. That's where tools like the mid-level exception and sign-and-trade agreements come into play. These mechanisms have been used effectively in the past by other franchises looking to add quality veterans without compromising future assets or long-term flexibility. The most straightforward option is the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, MLE, which allows the Lakers to offer a salary slightly above the minimum but without having to clear cap space through trades. The MLE can be particularly useful for signing veterans like Lopez, who may be willing to sacrifice a few million in annual salary for a chance to contend at the highest level. In this case, the Lakers could potentially offer Lopez a 1 or 2 year deal worth approximately $12 million per year. This wouldn't be a massive payday, but for a player in his late 30s aiming for another championship, the value lies in the opportunity. If Lopez is seeking a larger deal or prefers to remain on a team that can't offer the MLE directly, the Lakers might explore a sign-and-trade scenario with the Milwaukee Bucks. In this setup, Lopez would agree to a new contract with Milwaukee and then be traded to Los Angeles in exchange for assets such as future draft picks, expiring contracts, or young players on affordable deals. The Lakers still possess a few tradable assets, including their 2031 first-round pick and the expiring contracts of secondary role players, which could be enough to entice Milwaukee if they are looking to reset their roster or save on payroll. However, sign-and-trade deals come with their own complications. Teams that acquire a player through this method are hard-capped at the first luxury tax apron, which significantly limits their ability to make further moves during the season. The Lakers will need to be cautious not to box themselves into a financial corner, especially if they plan on adding more veterans or exploring trades later in the season to upgrade their bench. Another layer to the financial puzzle is the importance of timing. The Lakers must balance urgency with patience. Moving too quickly on Lopez could limit their flexibility if other trade targets or free agent opportunities arise later in the offseason. But waiting too long risks losing Lopez to a competing franchise. Teams like the Miami Heat or the Boston Celtics could also show interest in Lopez, given his defensive value and playoff experience. That urgency is not lost on Pelinka, who knows the importance of making efficient, calculated decisions early in free agency. The presence of Luka Doncic adds pressure to get these decisions right. Doncic is entering his prime and has already experienced postseason disappointment. For the Lakers to retain his long-term commitment, they must demonstrate a clear vision for surrounding him with a championship-caliber roster. That includes addressing glaring weaknesses, chief among them rim protection and interior defense, without depleting the team's offensive firepower. Brook Lopez fits that profile perfectly, but acquiring him without compromising other roster needs is where the true front office chess match begins. The salary cap challenge also forces the Lakers to make difficult decisions about current roster pieces. Players like Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, or even Austin Reeves might be part of the cost if a sign-and-trade becomes necessary. Each of these players has value, but in a league driven by fit and flexibility, the front office must weigh the cost of keeping them against the potential impact Lopez could bring on the defensive end. What remains clear is that the Lakers are not treating this offseason as business as usual. With LeBron's career nearing its twilight and Donic needing the right ecosystem to thrive, there's a heightened sense of urgency. Pelinka and his team are already exploring every financial pathway, turning over every stone to make a Lopez deal, or one like it, work within their constrained parameters. Ultimately, success in this pursuit depends not just on money or cap strategy but on vision and clarity. The Lakers need a plan that's sustainable and championship-driven. If they can bring Brook Lopez into the fold without derailing their long-term flexibility or sacrificing core contributors, it would mark a decisive win in what is shaping up to be a critical offseason. The next steps in this financial dance could very well determine whether the team can realistically aim for banner 18, or fall short once again. Beyond the numbers and salary cap logistics, Brook Lopez offers something the Lakers desperately need: veteran leadership and stabilizing presence both on and off the court. While talent and athleticism often dominate headlines, championship teams are usually defined by intangibles such as composure, communication, and culture. In this respect, Lopez's addition could serve as a critical balancing force for a Lakers squad that blends youth, star power, and evolving roles. With players like Luka, Doncic, and Austin Reeves still growing into leadership responsibilities, having a seasoned voice like Lopez's in the locker room could be transformative. Lopez has been in nearly every situation a player can encounter in the NBA, from carrying the Brooklyn Nets as a young franchise cornerstone, to reinventing himself in Milwaukee as a stretch five and elite rim protector. That breadth of experience has shaped him into one of the most respected veterans in the league. He understands how to manage playoff pressure, contribute without dominating the ball, and hold teammates accountable without creating tension. These are leadership traits that statistics simply cannot measure, but coaches and front offices value immensely. In the current Lakers landscape, the emotional core of the team is often driven by LeBron James. However, with James likely transitioning toward the final phase of his career, there is a vacuum forming in terms of vocal leadership and team culture. Luka Doncic, while supremely talented, is still navigating the demands of being a leader on a team with championship aspirations. Adding Lopez to that mix offers a natural bridge, someone who commands respect but doesn't overshadow the stars. His approach complements the personalities already in the locker room and provides a stabilizing influence during high-pressure stretches. Lopez's ability to adapt his role over time also signals a level of humility and team-first mindset that the Lakers have sought in previous veterans. During his time in Milwaukee, he seamlessly transitioned from offensive focal point to defensive anchor, showcasing his versatility and self-awareness. This adaptability would be invaluable in a Lakers system where roles are often fluid and dictated by matchups. In some games, Lopez might be asked to play 30 minutes and take on top centers. In others, he could see limited action if the team opts for smaller lineups. Regardless, his professionalism ensures he will accept his role without disruption. Equally important is the mentorship aspect. The Lakers have a few young bigs and forwards, such as Jackson Hayes, and possibly a new draft pick or G League call-up. Having someone like Lopez around to guide them through defensive schemes, offensive positioning, and the grind of an 82-game season would accelerate their development. Even players like Anthony Davis, who play a different position but share the front-court responsibilities, can benefit from Lopez's defensive communication and spatial intelligence. His ability to call out rotations, set strong screens, and anchor the paint makes everyone else's job easier. Another dimension to consider is Lopez's chemistry with coaching staffs. Reports from Milwaukee and previous stops indicate that he's a favorite among coaches due to his willingness to implement game plans, speak up in film sessions, and serve as a conduit between the bench and the floor. With J.J. Redick stepping into a relatively new coaching role in Los Angeles, having experienced veterans who can help enforce his system is crucial. Lopez not only brings buy-in but can also act as a translator of sorts, helping younger players and even stars interpret and execute coaching directives. In terms of culture, Lopez also fits the mold of what the Lakers are trying to build: intense but not divisive, focused but not robotic. His offbeat personality, sense of humor, and love for comic books make him approachable and beloved by teammates. In a high-pressure environment like Los Angeles, that levity can be just as important as any on-court contribution. Championship teams often credit their success not just to talent but to chemistry and morale, two areas where Lopez consistently receives high marks. Additionally, Lopez's tenure with the Lakers back in the 2017-18 season, though brief, laid a foundation of familiarity. While that team was very different in personnel and expectations, the organization has not forgotten his professionalism and effort. Returning to a franchise with unfinished business could also motivate Lopez personally. There's a sense of narrative completeness in coming back to Los Angeles with a shot at redemption, not just for himself but as a part of a true contender. Finally, the idea of fit in basketball goes beyond positions and stats. It encompasses personalities, communication styles, and leadership dynamics. Lopez represents an ideal fit for the Lakers' current makeup. A veteran who won't demand the spotlight, who brings consistency to both ends of the floor, and who can help mold the next generation of leaders within the team. As the Lakers transition into a new era where LeBron eventually steps back and Donic takes the mantle, having players like Lopez who embody consistency and discipline becomes invaluable. If the Lakers truly want to maximize their championship window while preparing for the future, adding Brook Lopez is more than just a basketball decision. It's a cultural investment. One that could strengthen the locker room, sharpen the defense, and reinforce the collective identity of a team still finding its balance between star power and substance. In today's NBA, defense remains a cornerstone of any championship team, and the Lakers have made it clear that reinforcing their interior protection is a top off-season priority. Brook Lopez, at 37 years old, may not possess the speed of younger centers, but his timing, positioning, and court intelligence still make him one of the most effective rim protectors in the league. For a Lakers team that struggled with consistent interior defense throughout the 2024-2025 season, Lopez presents not just a short-term solution but a critical piece in re-engineering their defensive identity. Lopez's numbers continue to support his reputation. In the 2024-2025 season, he averaged 1.8 blocks per game, ranking among the league leaders in that category. More importantly, his presence in the paint altered countless shots beyond what the stat sheet reveals. Opponents consistently struggled to finish at the rim with Lopez patrolling the middle, and his ability to defend without fouling allowed Milwaukee to stay aggressive on the perimeter. This rim deterrence would address one of the Lakers' most pressing concerns, protecting the basket when Anthony Davis either sits or is asked to play more as a power forward. The strategic implications of Lopez's presence are substantial. He allows the Lakers to adopt drop coverage schemes without sacrificing floor spacing on offense. Most traditional bigs force teams to compromise, choosing between size and shooting. Lopez, however, offers both. His three-point shooting, 36% on over 4 attempts per game, demands respect from opposing defenses and helps keep the lane open for Luka Doncic's drives and LeBron James post-ups. Offensively, he stretches the floor as a pick-and-pop threat, which is especially useful when Donic or Reeves initiates the offense. Additionally, Lopez enables the Lakers to experiment with bigger lineups. Pairing him with Davis gives Los Angeles a twin tower configuration that can dominate defensively, control the glass, and still function in transition. Davis has long preferred playing alongside a true center, which reduces the wear and tear on his body and allows him to roam more freely as a help defender. With Lopez anchoring the paint, Davis can wreak havoc as a secondary rim protector, close out on shooters and switch when necessary, maximizing his defensive versatility without compromising the team's interior strength. On a tactical level, Lopez improves the Lakers' ability to guard the pick and roll, an area that became a weak point late last season. His vast experience and high basketball IQ enable him to read offensive actions quickly and position himself accordingly. While he doesn't have elite lateral speed, his anticipation compensates. He understands angles, knows when to hedge and recover, and can execute late switches if necessary. This reliability simplifies the defensive responsibilities for perimeter players and increases overall team cohesion. Another overlooked aspect of Lopez's game is his ability to box out and secure contested rebounds. While his rebounding numbers aren't gaudy, his fundamentals are textbook. He creates space for teammates, uses his body effectively, and rarely loses track of his assignment on the glass. The Lakers have struggled with second-chance points throughout the season, often giving up offensive boards that shift momentum. Lopez helps address that with consistent effort and discipline, two qualities that are invaluable in playoff basketball. His presence also gives head coach J.J. Redick a new level of flexibility. Redick, known for his modern approach and appreciation of analytics, will benefit greatly from having a center who can play both ends efficiently. Lopez allows for defensive coverages to be more adaptable, and offensively he can operate in multiple roles depending on the lineup, whether as a screen setter, a corner spacer, or even in short roll situations. This opens up Redick's playbook and enables more dynamic sets, especially when rotating players like Rui Hachimura or Jared Vanderbilt into smaller units. Perhaps most importantly, Lopez fits into the Lakers' philosophy of high IQ basketball. This is a franchise that values understanding of the game as much as physical gifts. From Magic Johnson to Kobe Bryant to LeBron James, the Lakers have always thrived with players who think the game at an elite level. Lopez, a Stanford graduate and one of the most cerebral big men in the league, seamlessly aligns with that tradition. His ability to communicate on defense, direct traffic in transition, and adjust to changing game plans makes him more than just a system player. He becomes an extension of the coaching staff on the floor. Lopez's addition would also benefit the Lakers in crunch time scenarios. In close games where each possession matters, his defensive positioning and calm under pressure can be game changers. He knows when to rotate, when to contest, and when to concede. That awareness helps avoid costly fouls, wasted rotations, and unnecessary gambles, issues that plagued the Lakers at times during last season's playoff exit. In summary, Brook Lopez would provide the Lakers with much-needed defensive anchoring, strategic versatility, and lineup balance. His ability to shoot from deep, guard the rim, and communicate defensively would elevate the team on multiple fronts. With Lopez in the fold, the Lakers wouldn't just plug a gap. They would reshape the core structure of their defense, positioning themselves to make a deeper postseason run while building a team that is as intelligent as it is talented. In the ever-competitive landscape of the NBA, championship contention relies not only on star power but also on the subtle balance between experience, leadership, and support. The Los Angeles Lakers, headlined by LeBron James and Luka Doncic, boast two of the most gifted basketball minds of this generation. However, even the brightest stars require the right supporting cast, players who understand their role, elevate the system, and contribute to the collective goal without ego. Brook Lopez, with his resume and temperament, fits that mold perfectly. LeBron James has always thrived with intelligent, team-first veterans. His most successful teams, from Miami to Cleveland to the 2020 Lakers, have had experienced big men who could protect the paint, set solid screens, and knock down open shots. Players like Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, and Anthony Davis at the 5 were vital in giving LeBron the freedom to orchestrate. At 39, LeBron is still producing at an elite level, but the window is narrowing. Every move the Lakers make now has to complement his game without overburdening him. Enter Lopez. Brook's presence would reduce the physical toll on LeBron in the regular season, allowing him to preserve energy for the playoffs. Lopez's ability to stretch the floor means that LeBron has more space to drive, post, and isolate, maximizing his offensive efficiency. Defensively, Lopez allows LeBron to conserve his energy on that end too, as he won't be relied upon to consistently rotate down and help against drives. This preserves LeBron's legs for high-leverage moments, where his impact is most critical. On the other side of the leadership spectrum stands Luka Doncic. Still in the prime of his youth, Luka has quickly ascended to superstardom. But unlike LeBron, he is still refining his leadership style. Doncic is learning how to elevate teammates not just with skill but with tone, maturity, and trust. Having a veteran like Lopez in the locker room adds a quiet but powerful presence. Lopez isn't loud, but he's respected. He brings the kind of steady professionalism that sets an example for younger players and helps reinforce the messages coming from the coaching staff and team leaders. From a basketball standpoint, Lopez is also an ideal complement to Doncic's playstyle. Luka thrives in pick-and-roll scenarios, where he manipulates defenders with pace and precision. Lopez is one of the best big men at setting hard, effective screens and popping out to the perimeter. This gives Doncic multiple options: attack the lane, find Lopez for a clean 3, or swing the ball to an open shooter as the defense rotates. It's a dynamic that worked brilliantly with Kristaps Porzingis in Dallas, and Lopez brings that same stretch 5 capability with stronger defense. Moreover, Lopez's understanding of floor spacing and angles means he's rarely in Luka's way. Doncic has an uncanny feel for geometry on the court, and teammates who crowd his space often limit his effectiveness. With Lopez spotting up beyond the arc or hovering at the top of the key, the paint stays open. This not only benefits Luka's scoring and passing but also creates cleaner lanes for cutters like Austin Reeves or Rui Hachimura. The psychological impact is also notable. Championship teams are built not only on performance but on trust, knowing that every player on the floor will make the right decision under pressure. Both LeBron and Luka benefit immensely from teammates who don't panic, who execute with discipline, and who understand the gravity of playoff basketball. Lopez checks every one of those boxes. His experience in deep playoff runs with Milwaukee, including a championship, gives him a poise that's invaluable when things get tight. Furthermore, having Lopez as a stabilizing force can alleviate locker room volatility. The Lakers are a high-profile team, always under scrutiny. Losing streaks, trade rumors, media noise, these are part of the terrain. Veterans like Lopez help anchor the group during these stretches. He doesn't get too high or too low, and that kind of temperament is infectious. Younger players follow suit, and even stars appreciate having someone who always brings the same level of professionalism regardless of circumstance. Lopez also enhances the leadership dynamic between LeBron and Luka. Though both are team-first players, their styles and stages in their career differ. LeBron is deliberate, measured, and strategic. Luka is fiery, instinctive, and emotionally driven. The right supporting cast can help bridge that gap, offering stability while allowing both to express their leadership in complementary ways. Brook, having played with a diverse range of teammates over his long career, understands the importance of adapting to different personalities and supporting leaders in their own style. Even in practice settings, Lopez can elevate team culture. He is known for his focus, preparation, and attention to detail. These habits push younger players to adopt the same standards. For someone like Jackson Hayes or any developing bigs on the roster, watching and learning from Lopez day to day can accelerate their growth. It's mentorship by presence, something that can't be taught in film sessions alone. In essence, adding Brook Lopez is not just about filling a statistical gap. It's about constructing the kind of team ecosystem where stars can thrive, leaders can lead, and younger players can develop. His impact goes beyond blocks and threes. It's in the subtle nuances, the little moments in games, in huddles, in the weight room, where his value truly manifests. With LeBron entering the twilight of his career and Luka poised to take the torch, every roster decision must serve both the now and the future. Lopez provides that balance. He is the connective tissue that links star talent with team culture. He's the kind of player who won't demand the spotlight but will shine in his role nonetheless, making the entire system stronger, smarter, and more cohesive. In today's NBA, the term rim protector no longer refers simply to someone who blocks shots. It now implies a player who understands timing, positioning, and spatial awareness. With the rise of pace and space offenses and versatile big men, defensive systems require more than just height and verticality. They need cerebral defenders who can read the play before it unfolds, dictate opponent decisions, and offer a consistent physical presence around the rim. Brook Lopez, entering his 17th season, has mastered this role, and the Lakers could reap immense benefits by placing him at the core of their defensive identity. The Lakers' struggles in the 2025 playoffs didn't stem from a lack of offensive firepower. With LeBron James orchestrating from the wing and Luka Doncic dominating pick-and-roll scenarios, scoring wasn't the issue. The real gap was at the defensive end, particularly in the paint. Opponents frequently exposed the lack of interior protection and rebounding, forcing the Lakers to over-rotate, over-help, and often leave shooters wide open. A team cannot build a championship defense around vulnerability at the rim. This is where Lopez becomes essential. Known as one of the NBA's premier shot blockers and rim deterrents, he averaged 1.8 blocks per game last season and consistently altered many more without being credited on the stat sheet. His ability to stay vertical, contest shots without fouling, and communicate effectively with teammates provides a level of reliability that's been missing since the peak days of Anthony Davis at the 5. More importantly, Lopez doesn't need to chase blocks to be effective. Unlike raw shot blockers who rely on athleticism, Lopez uses anticipation, footwork, and body control. He knows how to defend and drop coverage, a scheme the Lakers have leaned on in recent years, and understands how to guide ball handlers toward help defenders. This subtle control over game flow isn't flashy, but it's game-changing, particularly in playoff series, where margins are razor-thin and adjustments happen possession by possession. For a team like the Lakers, whose stars thrive on the perimeter and in the mid-range, having a back-end anchor like Lopez gives everyone on the court more confidence. Perimeter defenders can stay tighter on shooters, knowing they have a safety net behind them. Wings can gamble occasionally without fear of complete breakdowns. And the coaching staff can implement more aggressive schemes like traps and hedges, because of the knowledge that Lopez can clean up the mess if the initial plan breaks down. Beyond the paint, Lopez also offers strong closeout ability and positional awareness on the perimeter. While he may not switch onto guards like a younger Big would, he rotates on time, takes smart angles and rarely gets caught out of position. His high basketball IQ ensures that even when beaten off the dribble, he recovers in ways that force opponents into lower efficiency decisions, like long floaters or contested kickouts. His defensive impact is also felt in rebounding. While Lopez is not a dominant rebounder by volume, he excels in boxing out and positioning, allowing teammates to grab uncontested boards. This is a quality often undervalued in the box score but highly prized in a team context. When LeBron or Luka secures the rebound and immediately transitions into offense, it's often because someone like Lopez made that rebound possible. Lopez's potential pairing with Anthony Davis, should he remain healthy and stay on the roster, adds another layer to the Lakers' defense. The duo could operate in a twin tower setup, with Davis using his agility to guard quicker forwards and Lopez anchoring the paint. This alignment creates a scenario where the Lakers can defend at an elite level both inside and outside, a formula that mimics the defensive versatility seen in championship-caliber teams like the 2020 Lakers or the 2019 Raptors. Moreover, Brook's veteran mindset and defensive communication would benefit younger players immensely. For someone like Max Christie or Jalen Hood-Schifino, playing with a center who constantly directs traffic, calls out screens, and helps set the tone can be transformative. Defensive chemistry is often built through repetition and vocal leadership, and Lopez brings both. Practices become more disciplined, film sessions more instructive, and game time execution more consistent. On top of all that, Lopez brings a degree of physicality and toughness that doesn't often show up in analytics. He's not afraid to absorb contact, to set hard screens, or to engage in the kind of trench battles that wear down opponents over a 7-game series. This brand of quiet physical leadership is exactly what the Lakers need as they try to forge a new defensive identity without compromising the offensive freedom of their stars. Defensive identity has always been the backbone of Lakers championship teams. From the Showtime-era physicality of Kareem and Rambis to the smothering length of the 2020 bubble team, titles have followed elite defense in Los Angeles. While Lopez alone won't transform the Lakers into a top 3 defensive unit overnight, his presence could elevate them from average to formidable. And in a Western Conference filled with elite scorers, that difference could define a season. In summary, Brook Lopez represents more than just a veteran big man. He's a culture builder on the defensive end, a strategic chess piece that allows schemes to expand and stars to conserve energy. He brings structure, intelligence, and a physical presence that has been lacking. For a Lakers team determined to make one more run with LeBron while grooming Luka for the future, shoring up the back line with someone of Lopez's caliber isn't just a smart move, it's a necessary one. With every decision made during the off-season, front offices walk a delicate line between short-term ambition and long-term sustainability. The Los Angeles Lakers are no exception. While the acquisition of Brook Lopez may seem like a win-now maneuver designed to patch defensive issues, his presence speaks to something far more strategic. It's a piece of a broader puzzle, a move that supports the current title window with LeBron James while reinforcing the foundation for the franchise's next era, headlined by Luka Doncic. Bringing Lopez into the fold sends a clear message about the Lakers' direction. Rather than splurging on younger but inconsistent talents, or banking on underdeveloped prospects, they are investing in intelligence, system fit, and professional experience. This approach not only aligns with the personalities of their star players but also stabilizes a roster in flux. When a team already features 2 high-usage offensive engines, the supporting cast must offer balance, not additional volatility. Lopez, by nature and experience, embodies balance. Consider the effect his arrival would have on Luka Doncic's growth. As a ball-dominant star expected to carry the offensive load, Luka's efficiency and health benefit immensely from reliable teammates who don't require constant orchestration. Lopez can serve as both a floor spacer and a low-maintenance safety valve in pick-and-pop sets. More importantly, Lopez's presence on the defensive end allows Luka to conserve energy, knowing the paint is protected and rotations are covered by someone who understands defensive flow. For a young leader still mastering the art of pacing himself over a full season, this is invaluable. The same logic applies to LeBron James. In his 40s, LeBron cannot anchor a defense the way he once did, but his mind remains elite. With Lopez behind him, LeBron can leverage his anticipation and positioning instead of having to chase blocks or overextend himself. This creates a virtuous cycle. LeBron stays fresher late in games, the team's defensive discipline improves, and younger players learn by watching two cerebral veterans operate in perfect sync. But beyond the basketball logic lies the financial calculus. Brook Lopez is not a max contract player, which makes him a practical fit for the Lakers' constrained salary cap situation. His market value hovers at a level that could realistically be accommodated through exceptions or clever trade structuring, particularly if the front office explores sign-and-trade mechanics. This flexibility allows the Lakers to remain competitive in other market areas, retaining critical role players, exploring depth at the wing, or preparing for future draft acquisitions. Speaking of the future, Lopez also serves as a valuable transitional piece. While he may not be a centerpiece by the time Luka is in his prime MVP years, he can function as a cultural placeholder, instilling defensive habits, setting practice standards, and mentoring the next generation. When Lopez eventually phases out of the rotation, the lessons he leaves behind will continue shaping the team's identity. That's a form of value that doesn't show up in cap sheets or player efficiency ratings but can define team culture for years. Additionally, Lopez's arrival could simplify the front office's job in managing expectations. When fans and media evaluate roster moves, they often look for star names or statistical darlings. But a team-building blueprint that emphasizes structure, fit, and basketball IQ over flashiness is harder to criticize when it starts to produce results. A functioning defense anchored by Lopez and supported by engaged perimeter players helps mask flaws, makes everyone's job easier, and elevates the overall competitiveness of the group. That, in turn, buys time and credibility for Rob Pelinka and the Lakers' leadership to make longer-term moves, be it a future star pursuit, a coaching change, or deeper investment in youth development. There's also the intangible value of continuity. Lopez, having played with the Lakers before, isn't walking into a completely foreign environment. He knows the expectations, understands the media market, and has familiarity with the organizational ethos. This gives him a head start compared to an external signing who may take months to adjust to the scrutiny and pressure that comes with wearing purple and gold. In high-stakes situations like the playoffs, these margins of comfort and experience can separate success from collapse. And then there's the fan base. While not the headline-grabbing superstar that moves jerseys overnight, Lopez is a respected veteran whose game appeals to purists and analysts alike. His addition can unify a fan base that often splits between nostalgia for Showtime and modern basketball ideals. A team featuring the brilliant passing of LeBron, the genius improvisation of Luka, and the stonewall defense of Lopez becomes a product that pleases both hearts and minds. Ultimately, Brook Lopez represents much more than a traditional rim protector. He is a bridge between eras, a blueprint for culture, and a tactical fix rolled into one. His presence enhances the team's present and clarifies its path forward. He allows the Lakers to chase a championship without sacrificing flexibility or identity. In the landscape of modern NBA team building, where overcorrections and panic trades often dominate, this kind of precision move is not just refreshing, it's championship-caliber decision-making. As the Lakers look to rise from a disappointing 2025 playoff exit and redefine themselves in a crowded Western Conference, Lopez might be the steadying force they didn't know they needed. A veteran, a protector, a teacher, a winner.